when you don't get attached, when you're not attached to outcome, something remarkably happens. When you're not attached to outcome, an extremely remarkable thing can take place. And this thing that takes place when you don't get attached to outcome is resolution. It allows you to resolve many knots you carried for a long time. And once those knots can resolve, it will set you free. Those knots are no longer serving you. They are energetic knots that were there because you didn't allow the time for them to untie themselves because you were too attached to outcome. Because when you are attached to outcome, you cannot be the most effective version of yourself. You cannot be the most effective version of yourself when you're still attached to outcome. You cannot be the most effective version of yourself because when you are attached to outcome, you are not allowing the space to let those knots inside of you unknot themselves. So don't be attached to outcome, because it's very important that you allow those knots some space such that they can untie themselves, because if you don't allow it to untie, then you keep being stuck in the same place as you are now, and you will keep wondering why it's not working out for you. So you really have to get unattached to outcome. So maybe let's tell what it means to get detached from outcome. It means you don't worry about the implications of your actions in the moment, because it is more important to allow yourself to work this out. It's more beneficial in the long run to you to temporarily gain some worse results, but having this experience of letting yourself be not attached to outcome, meaning that you don't care what the fruits of your work will be or how it might land with others. So this will allow you to untie those knots. and it's much more valuable to untie those knots than to gain short-term benefits. You have to prioritize long-term benefits over short-term benefits because it's a marathon and not a sprint. Sure, short-term results are satisfactory, but long-term results are more satisfactory. So go with the long-term results. It will be worth it in the end. It's already worth it because when you prioritize the long-term results, then you can already feel that you did something right. So this is reward enough for you. This is enough reward for you to prioritize the long-term benefits, because short-term you might not see as much benefits, but you know and you can feel that it is more beneficial to you in the long run. So this is a greater reward than short-term benefits. So stay detached from outcome. This is very important, that you stay detached from outcome, and I cannot repeat it often enough, because only through repetition will it stick. If I say it one time, you will forget it. If I say it 2 times also. You need to hear this for hours, because once it really lands inside of you, it will bear immense fruit. So this is not a mistake, this is necessary that I repeat it for minutes, for hours. Imagine repeating it for 8 hours straight, and you listen to this 8 hours. It would still be worth it, because it would be more than worth it, because when it really lands and when you take that in, when you take it in such that you will live by that detachment from outcome, it will transform your entire life into a miracle. It will transform your entire life into a miracle. So me repeating that for 15 minutes is nothing. We are too short-tempered often, unfortunately, but I don't care, because I have to tell it to you. This is extremely important, so listen to it. You need to be detached from outcome. That means don't try anything while you're doing it. Make some plans, make some adjustments when you're not doing it, but don't think about outcome while you're in the process of doing it. This is not the time to think about outcomes, or think about how it might land, or think about how it might affect, or think about what is the purpose. In the moment you submit yourself to the process, you submit yourself to the action. You're not thinking, you are resting and trusting that the preparation that you set in between will carry you through. So while you're doing something, don't think about outcome, get detached from outcome. Get detached from outcome while you do something, because while you do it, it will be most beneficial. You will bear the best fruits if you are not attached to outcome. If you're not attached to outcome, and while, especially, this is very important now, while you're doing something, don't explain yourself what you're doing. There's no need to explain yourself while you're doing it, because other people will see it. They don't need explanation. They need proof. They need to see the results. This is what a leader is about. A leader is not talking. A leader is leading by example. So don't explain yourself while you're doing something. Let your results speak. Let your actions speak, and not your explanation of those actions. Let your actions speak louder than words. There is no need to clarify, because it's more like a general direction. You don't have to be super precise. You are precise only in the way that you don't explain yourself and you're not attached to outcome. These two need to be very precise, but the actions themselves need not be precise. So, of course, there's always exceptions, but as I said, we don't need to clarify, we don't need to explain, we don't need to worry, because again, this is attachment to outcome. Because when we worry about if we are misunderstood, this is attachment to outcome, and we don't want to be attached to outcome. We don't worry about anything. It's more like stay present and act from this present state. And you will feel yourself when it is done right. You can feel it. It feels peaceful. It feels still. And when you are attached to outcome, it feels entirely different. It feels agitated and restless. And those are the two indicators. When you feel centered, when you feel peaceful, then you know you're not attached to outcome. And when you feel all over the place and not centered, then you know you are attached to outcome. But there's no need to be attached to outcome. Stay centered. Stay centered in every moment. This is the simplest advice, but also the hardest to follow. But it will be the most effective to gain the best results. staying centered will give you the best results. And when you stay centered, there are also coming up a lot of sensations like we explored before. And it's important that you also stay with negative sensations as we did before. And when you do that, nothing can stop you. When you do that, nothing can stop you because you're not attached to outcome anymore. You are centered, you are calm, you're present. And once you have those, nothing can stop you anymore. But this is not something you do in the future. This is something you do right now. This is something you do every time you watch one of my videos. You always watch in a calm and centered state. And then also after you watch videos, you stay in a calm, centered state. You do actions in a calm, centered state, and you do actions with detachment from outcome. You don't worry about the fruits of your labor. That's when you will achieve the best results, obviously. But that's really all there is. But I have already said it, it's simple to explain, but not so simple to execute. But it's just like any other skill that you train, and trust is your best helper. Know that it's already working. Because you have decided that you will be detached from outcome, and because you have decided it, you will live like that. That's how it's working. When you go to the dentist, you also make the decision to go there, and then you will go there. When you buy food, you also make the decision to buy food, and then you do it. So this is no different. When you make the decision to get detached from outcome, you will get detached from outcome. So it's always the same principle. You make a decision and then it happens, like with every decision you make in your life. I feel that I want to come to a close here. So we've done a lot in this episode. First, we explored how to stay with unpleasant sensations. And after that, we explored how to stay with unpleasant sensations. We've shown the importance of that. And when you were following along, you could experience directly the transformation of those negative sensations into energy, power, and presence. After that, we explored the importance of detachment from outcome and the importance of repetition. You get the best results when you are detached from outcome, and you will act accordingly from now on. Don't be attached to outcome when you're doing an action. Think about outcome only in between actions. we've seen how being detached from outcome allows you to free up space to resolve energetic knots in your being. This was very powerful, very transforming as well. And we've shown how all of that ties together into being centered, and we've shown how attacks and critique is only feedback to help you. So I think this was a very fruitful episode. We've learned a lot, we've experienced a lot. It was extremely beneficial. So thank you a lot for participating. And I'm looking forward to see you in the next episode.